Let's see. It's better to see it ourselves than me guessing. Let's check it out. Story mode, investigator mode. Changes difficulty. Story mode. This mode is for players who want to experience the story of the game without great challenges. If there is no challenge, there is no reward. Investigator mode. This mode is for players who want to solve puzzles and prefer a more challenging experience. That has our name on it. The events in our game are based on true crimes committed during the Nazi era and were investigated in the young Federal Republic of Germany. With the exception of Fritz Bauer, the names of all of those involved have been changed. Any similarities with existing persons of the same name are purely coincidental. So the cases are true, but the names
Frankfurt,
different.
West Germany, 1956. 11 years after the end of World War II, many crimes of the Nazi era still go unpunished. The perpetrators of these crimes are walking free. Many judges, prosecutors and police officers have already served under the Nazis. Now they have no interest in prosecuting their former comrades for actions similar to their own. For the victims of these crimes, this is unbearable. To end this, Attorney General Fritz Bauer establishes a special unit of young prosecutors with no ties to the old regime. I am Esther Katz. I am one of these prosecutors. We are investigating Nazi crimes and bringing perpetrators to justice. Not to avenge, not to heal, but to show that there are laws that apply to all. It doesn't make us popular. Most want to forget. Some want us to shut up. But they cannot stop us. Nothing belongs to the past. Everything is still present and can become the future again. Previously on The Darkest Files.
Previously, it's the first time I play.
Welcome to the front line. I believe I have the perfect case for you to start with. Hans Naumann, an older gentleman, shot just before the end of the war. According to the victim's wife, her husband was taken by a uniformed man for no reason. I suggest you invite the widow to give a statement.
Mrs. Naumann just arrived. I showed her to the conference room.
I know it's not easy, but please take me through the day your husband was taken.
It was in April '45, only days before the Americans came. Hans was upstairs when the doorbell rang. There were two men. Hans came down and asked them what they wanted. Then everything happened so fast. The small one said they'd let him go if our son would turn himself in. Then they just herded him out, like an animal. This was the last time I saw him alive. Hans was innocent. They killed him, and that's murder. No matter what they call it. Please, Miss Katz, will you find the man?
Paula, I need you to invite a potential witness.
Of course. Who should I reach out to?
Please invite Mr. Kiebitz.
Act 1. The Insurgent. Fritz Bauer's office employed 200 prosecutors before founding a younger team. It got me confused because it said April 45. It's April 1945, the first suspect. October 11th, 1956. Or 11th of October, 1956. But what was that about April 45? Oh, I can move now. I love the comic shading. And it's 3D, but it has 2D element. The characters are 2D. And it's dark, but I can see in the dark. So whose place is this?
Looks more like somebody's home than a prosecutor's office.
This is my office.
Archive. Not where I should be now.
Might be part of the menu.
Good morning, Miss Katz.
Where are you? So I can talk to you. See what's in here first. Kitchen. I can go into the kitchen. Restroom.
No, I'm good. Does it just go all day long?
Oh. Notebook. Case file. Post menu. Dialogue log. Dialogue log. What else is in here? Case file. What's this? Select a category on the left side of the screen. Old case. This is what the intro was about. April 45, 1945. It's not exactly the same. There's more information in here. Background. Maybe these labels? Three, 4. Maybe this is important at some point. Maybe it's probably important at some point for some reason. It's different lines. Yellow, blue, and blue with lines. Reach later. Okay, too much information. I'm overwhelmed. Main uniform and ranks insignia of the army. Uniform and rank insignia of the German police. Maybe we have to identify them at some point. At least, if it's not real, at least seems like it's well documented. Background. Suspects. These are the suspects. Alfred Falkman, Hermann Kibitz, and Karl Schickert. Transcripts. Testimony. Photograph. Okay. Nice. Bookmarks. I don't have any bookmarks. And the top was notebook. Oh, the objectives. Urgent task. Check my inbox. People of interest. What is this? Colleagues. The receptionist. She only wants what any mother would for her daughter. For me to marry a lawyer. Oh, it's my mother and my father. Becoming one myself wasn't what she'd consider a valid alternative. Remind him their Pearl anniversary is coming up. Pearl? Who came up with these names? And this is just a glossary of terms. Gau, a regional administrative division used by the Nazi Party to organize and govern the country. Term established in Middle Ages, roughly corresponding to an English shire. In alphabetical order.
Not the cleanest of places.
Okay. We can sit everywhere. Interact with the newspaper. The Rise of Frankenstein. The Monarch and the Dancer.
The door is locked.
Conference room. Ah, this is my office. I need to go there.
The door is locked.
This is Dr. Fritz Bauer, Prosecutor General.
The door is locked. Christopher's not in today. The cold from yesterday must have caught up with him.
Miss Katz, is there anything I can do for you?
Are there any documents? Any new documents? Did I miss any calls?
Paula, any new files for me?
I left them on your desk, Miss Katz. Yesterday's transcript is also attached. If you could please read it to see if everything is correct.
And his voice act as well.
Did anybody call me while I wasn't here?
Oh, and there was a call for you. Asked for you to call back. I wrote down the number and left it with the files. I'm afraid he didn't give a name. An older man, I'd say. Sounded very proper, even if he did ignore my questions.
That will be all for now. Thank you, Paula.
Always happy to help.
Interesting, interesting. So, my desk, phone, tray with documents. What should...
Miss Katz, is there anything I can do for you?
That will be all for now. Thank you, Paula.
Always happy to help.
The first witness will come in later today. I added some documents to your case file. And there was a man calling for you. He left a number. Unfortunately, he hung up before I could get his name. Please ask if you need anything else. New tutorial available. The notebook. Your notebook contains your current to-dos, overviews of characters, and more. Access it through the radial menu. Open... What is this? Tab. Open tutorial menu. Dismiss. Oh, this is better than the middle wheel.
Who do I want to call?
No one.
Never mind.
Case file. What is this? Well, we already seen this, but it's no tutorial for this. Okay, this is all the information for this case.
Who do
So
I want to call?
let's call this mysterious person. Number Paula wrote down.
Hello?
Father? I didn't expect you'd call me here.
Oh, Esther, my dear, so good to hear you. Did you settle in all right?
Somehow, I doubt you just called to check up on me.
There's my smart girl. Do you remember our little talk? It must have been last month.
Remind me?
I don't recall.
Then you should pay better attention. It pays off in our line of work. It is about the job at Bergmann, Karnich and Partners. Family law. Very respectable.
I'm afraid I'm not looking for another job right now.
Unfortunately, I know. It's why I have to do it. Esther, let me be very frank with you. I'm proud of you. I really am. A prosecutor at your age, with the view on women on our line of work being what it is, I'd have to be a fool not to. But your mother and I, we are worried. Do you have any idea what they say about Bauer?
Dad, I don't care about his private life, and I don't listen to rumors.
If that was his only flaw, Esther, the man's fanatic. You must see that. Listen to your father. Leave. Nothing good will come from this.
Choices matter already.
I make my own decisions now, Father.
No, Essie. I must
Essie.
apologize. I did not mean to get so passionate about this. I'm just worried. You don't know how important one's reputation is. And if people start to associate you with that man. I just want what's best for you, Essie.
I know, Dad.
I'm proud of you. I know I already said that, but I really am. Like you can't imagine.
I can't. So what do we do here?
Who do I want to call?
The suspect? My parents, Mr. Bauer, my boss? What for?
He's not picking up.
What do we do? I should be interrogating one of these suspects.
Miss Katz, is there anything I can...
That will be all for now.
Always happy to help.
No bookmarks. Case file. Suspects. These kibitz. Member number. Date of birth. One died. But I don't have a way to contact him if I need to. I like that you can mark everything, absolutely. Like everything important. Just if you need. Transcript, background, all case. What do I do? Something. Wait, there's a menu. How did I get notebook? Yes. Read new documents in case file. Call back the number Paula noted. Check my inbox. Meet with Mr. Bauer. Interrogate the first suspect as soon as he is here. Check my inbox. My inbox is this one, isn't it? Oh, there's more. Someone's calling.
Miss Katz, Mr. Bauer wants to talk to you.
Oh, any idea why?
I am sure he just wants to hear the latest update from you. He also said he wants to make sure you are properly prepared.
Properly prepared? What does he mean by that?
I have a hunch, but it's best to ask him that yourself.
Thank you, Paula. I'll be joining him in a minute.
He couldn't come to me.
I would go and meet Mr. Bauer first.
Mr. Bauer is here. He couldn't come to my office. I need to go.
Hello, Miss Katz.
Hello.
Any news regarding the Naumann case?
Any news?
And quite surprising ones. As it turns out, he wasn't even supposed to be arrested. The men were looking for his son, Jan Naumann. When they couldn't find Jan, they took Hans instead, the father.
I assume that's what Miss Naumann told you. But are you sure she is telling the truth?
According to the files, the man they were looking for had climbed up a flagpole, torn down a flag, and beaten up a block warden when he was caught in the act. Hans Naumann was 77 years old at the time. Of course, there are older men who are in good shape, but...
Pulling down a flag and beating someone up seems unlikely. I understand.
Yes.
I see, but why did the man take him, if they knew he was innocent?
Considering the times, they might have been afraid of coming back empty-handed. Or they could have hoped their actual suspect would turn himself in, hearing his father was taken.
Highly illegal, even back then. Not uncommon, though. But why did they shoot the old man?
Well, if I had the answer for everything, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you. I would be somewhere else. saving the world.
That I don't know yet. But I believe this is definitely a case for us.
It is indeed. We need witnesses.
I'd start with the names mentioned in the files of the first investigation. I've already invited Hermann Kiebitz to join me later this afternoon.
Excellent. Let's get this case to court, Miss Cutts. And be mindful of time. We do not have nearly enough of it here. Once you hear from all witnesses, we need to move to court quickly. Since you have never led a case before, I want you to be prepared. Mr. Peters has agreed to look over your shoulder and help you out. Present your findings, prove your claims. It will help you to familiarize yourself with the ins and outs of court. We cannot afford to fail at court, and preparation is the key to success.
I'll do what I can.
So how do we interrogate this aspect? Actually, meet with Mr. Bauer. Interrogate the first suspect as soon as he is here. Meet Mr. Peters. How? So they were looking for Jan Naumann, the victim's son, mentioned by name as the culprit to be arrested. He was in hiding when the event occurred. Died of pneumonia following the end of the war. But they took his father instead, the victim. Somebody's husband. Father, by the looks of him, probably grandfather. Gunshot to the forehead. Was he executed and why? This is the wife, which is the first witness. Victim's widow, convinced of her husband's innocence. This is the third time she's trying to learn what happened to him. These are my colleagues. Glossary of terms. Maybe we need to read this information before the interview so we have an idea of where everything is going. Alright. So this is a report from the past. An investigation on this case, but not done by us. On May 10th, 1945, a dead body was reported to the police in a wooded area near Munich. The deceased was identified as Hans Neumann, age 77. The autopsy revealed that he was killed by a 7.65mm Browning caliber gunshot to the forehead at close range. No other injuries were found. The victim's widow filed a criminal complaint against unknown persons on August 8, 1945, a few months after. She had observed two men pick up her husband on April 28, 1945. He had been considered missing ever since. The four suspects identified in connection with the victim's disappearance were interrogated. All suspects testified that the victim was guilty of treason and was therefore lawfully executed. The evaluation of whether a crime has been committed is the responsibility of the authorized prosecutor's office. Oh, we can label everything. Okay, I think it's good enough at this distance. Police Department 24 something something, an address, 12th of January, 2 years later. Case number, person responsible, Manfred Wagner. I wonder how deep the game is because there's a lot of information here. Maybe not everything is important, but almost everything. Dear Mr. Baustian. Who's Baustian? The investigation into the death of Hans Neumann from Munich has revealed that he fell victim to a violent crime. For details, please see the attached file report. We were able to identify 4 possible suspects who were connected with the victim's disappearance. And these are the 4 people, the suspects. The police investigation is thus considered closed and we hereby officially turn the case over to your prosecutor's office. If you encounter any questions during the examination for indictment, please do not hesitate to contact us at any time. Manfred Wagner. Protocol of conversation. This is the attached file of this one. I'm guessing. Witness Herbert Schwartz. Who is Herbert Schwartz? Background suspect? None. Oh, it's the deceased. Who of these? They found 4 suspects and they closed the investigation? Let's see what this is about. Witness Herbert Schwartz, 7th of November 46. 1 year later. Please tell me what happened on the 28th of April 1945. Astor is the interrogator. Schwartz is the interrogated. I remember that my esteemed colleague Alfred Feldman, group leader of the local group I tasked with catching the criminal, came to my office. He told me they got the traitor and gave his report from the arrest. I went, together with Mr. Feldman, out into the hallway. With crimes of this severity, I always give the same order, the order to execute. I then told my driver to come with me to my office. The others went to the prisoner to carry out my order as requested. Your driver, what for? There was already unrest in the country because of the Americans, who were just flooding in like flies. I wanted to set up alternative routes with my driver to avoid these Americans and still make it to my important appointments. Shortly thereafter, there was already a polite knock at the door, and group leader Feldman reported to me that the insurgent had been successfully executed. Official order. Germans, national comrades. In these most difficult times for our nation, more than ever, the responsibility for Germans' fate rests on all of our shoulders. All Germans are called upon to fight against the traitors in our own country. The resistance is to be disarmed. The uprising have to be quelled. Anyone who propagates or approves of any measures that would weaken our resistance against the enemy is a traitor and must be shot. Any attempt at insubordination must be met with immediate removal from all public positions and expulsion from the party. The name of Germany will not be tarnished. I trust in your confidence, your absolute allegiance and discipline. Date 2 years preliminary proceedings against the suspects due to manslaughter. Dear Mrs. Naumann, this is the wife of the victim. In the above-mentioned proceedings, we made the following decision. The proceedings shall be discontinued pursuant to 170, Section 2 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Reasons. The victim, Hans Naumann, was a communist insurgent who carried out highly treasonable actions in a wartime situation. The execution ordered by the district leader was carried out according to the law in force at the time of the crime. In the name of German people, in the case of first and last name Jan Naumann, date and place of birth, occupation, marital status, single. Oh, but Jan is the son. Where do I have this information? It's in here, but old case, background, suspects. No, it's on my notes, on the other notes. In the notebook. Hans and Jan. Jan is the son. Got it. Single. Place of residence, Munich, arrested. Currently in the NSDAP's district office custody. For his involvement in treasonous activity, the prisoner is to be immediately executed as traitor to the German nation. Grounds. Prisoner Jan Naumann was recognized as the perpetrator of an organized operation deliberately aimed at weakening the people's resistance against the invading forces. Okay, I think I'm ready. What is this? Some background. How do I interview this person? Interrogate the first suspect as soon as he is here. Yes, but or is in kitchen.
What?
Simon Peters.
Bad time?
Not like there's any other. But yes.
Mr. Bauer told me we should work together.
Right. The court preparations. Paula has already given me the protocols of yesterday's interrogation. I haven't got around to reading it yet, but there is no point discussing it before you've met the witnesses anyway.
Peters,
Cuts?
thank you for thinking I'm a total beginner.
Oh, you're welcome. Someone has to do it, since Mr. Bauer apparently overestimates your abilities. And while we're at it, don't forget to bring some evidence. I don't want us to improvise the whole thing.
That's obvious, Peters.
Good. As soon as you think you're ready, come by and we'll get it over with. What does she want now? Yes, Paula.
Excuse me, Mr. Peters, but I have a message for Miss Katz.
I'm listening, Paula.
The witness you asked me to contact, Hermann Kiebitz, just arrived.
What was your impression of him?
Ordinary man. A bit, how do I say this best without seeming unprofessional?
If you two could stop chatting, some of us need to get back to work.
Unpleasant. I think that's the right word. Unpleasant.
Thank you, Paula. I'll be right with him.
Witness is here. New tutorial available. H. Witness is here. Whenever a witness is arriving and ready to be asked, Paula will inform you about it. You can then enter the conference room to start questioning the witness. There you can ask them about their version of events and memories. Conference. Here.
Good morning. My name is Esther Katz.
A pleasure, miss. Could you tell me how long I have to wait for the prosecutor?
Mr. Kiebitz, I'm the prosecutor here.
Oh, modern times, I guess. How long will this take?
Won't be too long.
Good. So, let's get this over with.
This is about the arrest of Hans Naumann in Munich on April 28, 1945. According to a witness, 2 men picked up Mr. Naumann from his apartment. Were you one of them?
You're pretty, you know that?
Mr. Kiebitz, were you one of those men?
No, I wasn't. We drove to the house. Then our group leader and Mr. Schickert got out of the car to arrest the men.
What's going on?
Then they tossed the old man into the car and headed to the district office.
The district office. Where was it located?
We just had moved it into the basement of an old brewery. Still, District Leader Schwarz came out and gave the command.
New tutorial available. Open tutorial. What's the tutorial? Case file? Notebook? I don't know because it changes.
What command? What did he say?
He ordered us to execute the man. Then he left. I felt uneasy. This wasn't right.
What is this? Oh, I need to be
We
here.
followed group leader Falkman to the cell. There was tension.
Interacting in memories. By focusing on certain objects of interest with left mouse, Esther will form a question related to it. There are optional and story-related interaction objects highlighted in a different color. Main story objectives are marked in yellow, whereby optional ones are highlighted in teal. Understood. So this is main.
This must be the cell.
And I need to be there to activate it.
We all entered the cell.
Could you describe the cell?
Very basic. Mattress, window, chair.
I can move now, or
What
What?
was Mr. Falkman doing?
Group leader Falkman seemed to hesitate. He shared my concerns about killing the old sod. He told us to wait.
A new lead has been added to the notebook. A new lead. Leads to follow. Who ordered the execution? Who gave the initial execution order might be especially relevant if that person knew he was innocent. Who went to the cell where Mr. Norman was held captive? It is crucial to know who was standing in the cell and witnessed the execution. Who resisted the order? Many claim to have defied unlawful orders, but few did. I should find out who actually defied the command here.
Yet Shikat insisted. He referred to that new order about dealing with insurgents. He was such a stickler for the rules. He could be really annoying about these things.
I'm a bit lost with the names, I don't know who is who. This is the one who's talking, but he's in the past. This is the one who gave the order, and this is refusing to follow the order. This is the victim. Here's the matters, this is optional.
Were the compartments prepared to host prisoners?
Kind of. We adjusted them, so our prisoner could stay there for interrogations and not get out.
What did he say?
He insisted that any delay would constitute treason.
And treason must be reported, he said. The refusal to obey orders would be of interest for the Gestapo. Faced with this open threat of being denounced, we did not dare to act.
New lead. I've lost a lead. There were 3 before. Leads to follow. Who ordered it? Who went to the cell? Oh, now it appears. Who threatened with the Gestapo if the order was refused? It seems that the shooter was pressured to carry out the order, maybe even coercion.
For how long were the prisoners held in these cells?
Mostly around a week.
Nothing else?
The tension was strong. Group leader Faltman ordered us to wait once more. But Shikat drew his gun and shot him.
A new lead. Who shot Mr. Naumann? It will definitely be important to provide the judge with evidence of who actually pulled the trigger.
What weapons did the people present have? Standard issue equipment?
We could wish. Those were the last days. We had almost nothing left. Rifles, pistols, ammunition. We had to use whatever was somehow left, or what we managed to get out of the woods.
Interesting. I should ask Paula if she can find any information about this.
I hope you're talking to yourself, not to the interrogator. Interrogated. That's it. We go through that golden door.
What were your local group's responsibilities in the very last days of the war?
We were responsible for all concerns and for many households within Munich. Above all, we tried to eliminate insurgencies.
So what you are saying is, Shikat shot the old man against Mr. Faltman's order?
Exactly.
That's horrible.
These are brutal events you're getting to hear here. Are you sure you're up for it? Honestly, no one would think this is a job for a woman. What do you have to prove? I will file a formal complaint.
What would you like to complain about?
About talking to you instead of a real prosecutor.
I see. Well, if you think that's necessary, go ahead. Thank you for your time, Mr. Kibitz.
Goodbye, Miss Katz.
New documents available in the case file. New transcript. Oh. Testimony. Witness Ludmila Nauman, LN. Prosecutor Esther Katz, EK. What happened? I was at home when two uniformed men showed up at our door. One was small and wore glasses. Kivlits. The other was a bit taller and bigger. The one who shot. He had a badge with two golden stripes on his collar. What did the men want? They pointed a gun at me and asked for my husband. Hans came to the door. The smaller man searched the apartment. Then they insisted Hans had to come with them for interrogations. The smaller man grabbed Hans and said to me, "Don't worry, Mrs. Once your son turns himself in, your husband is free to go." So they took him as a hostage. They knew it was the son. They pushed Hans out of the door. I never saw him again. Did you try to find out what happened? Yes, my son, Jan, and I tried to find him. But those last days of the war were such chaos. Only after almost 2 weeks did we get notified that they found his dead body in a forest nearby. Testimony. This is the new one. Kibitz. Mr. Feldman and Mr. Schwartz stepped out into the hallway where me, Kibitz, and Mr. Schickert were standing. The district leader gave the order for execution. Mr. Feldman ordered Mr. Schickert and me to follow him into the cell where this Newman was held captive. Mr. Feldman saw the victim and refused to go through with the order. He wanted us to wait, but Mr. Schickert insisted that the order of a high-ranking member must be followed. He threatened Mr. Feldman to report him to the Gestapo. Mr. Schickert carried out the order and shot Mr. Nauman, ignoring Mr. Feldman's command to stop. It's new, and that's it. So, what now? We talk to Paula.
If you have a moment, I have something for you.
So, I've done some digging beforehand.
Yes?
And found something potentially useful for you. The brewery's blueprint. I put it in your office on the corkboard. I thought it might help you to have more of a physical understanding of the crime scene.
Thank you, Paula, but what can I exactly do with it?
It should help you reconstruct and remember the different testimonies. On it, you can mark and note who said what, and more importantly, who did what over the course of the crime.
Thank you.
It might help you to have more of a physical understanding of the crime scene.
Where exactly is this corkboard?
Oh, I hung it up right next to your desk, so you can easily find it.
I need some additional files.
Something specific?
I need information on the equipment used by the local group. Weapons, mainly. As bureaucratic as the NSDAP was, they must have kept some sort of record.
Of course. I'll start looking. Anything else?
I think that will be it for now.
I hope it can help you with the preparations for Mr. Peters.
I'm sure it will. Thank you, Paula.
So, about this cork. Where is this corkboard? This one? This is not a corkboard, this is a projector. That's a projector. It's behind. Build your theory. In the blueprint, you reconstruct and compare the events of your witnesses' testimonies, building the theory you'll present at one point in court. Ooh. Statements. Kibitz. Mr. Feldman and District Leader Schwartz stepped out in the hallway. Mr. Schwartz gave the order for execution. Oh, I was looking from here. Schwartz. This is much better. I can see the name with the face and the position, the location, where they were. Who ordered the execution? This is not reconstructed yet. Select source, assign, give order. Course of crime. Oh, it's a tutorial. The crime is divided into 5 steps. Each step is connected with a question that you answer by editing the blueprint. You can move the figures around to display their locations and assign them actions. Select a character and give him the action to answer the first question. Move to office. Mr. Schwartz gave the order for execution. This is Mr. Schwartz. And we've given him the tag for gives the order. Okay. For your training with Mr. Peters, answering only step 1 is enough. Of course, you can proceed to build the rest of the first statement. So, you are giving the order. And then we can go to step 2. Who went to the cell where Mr. Neumann was held captive? All 3. Mr. Faltman ordered Mr. Schickert and me to follow him into the compartment where Mr. Neumann was, so all 3. I don't understand why am I selecting the room. I don't want to select the room. Oh. You changed their location. What is this for? I want to answer this question. Who went to the cell where Mr. Neumann was held captive? These 3. But how do I? Who resisted the order? Faltman. But in number 3 they are here. Faltman, this is the one who resisted. Defies order, if I'm not wrong. Schickert is the one who shot. Who threatened with the Gestapo if the order was refused? Schickert. Who shot Mr. Neumann? Schickert. Now, what am I missing here? Do I need to put them here? So, help, undo, play. Gives order. And then they move to the cell. Yes. And then Faltman refuses. Schickert threatens. And Schickert shoots. Kibitz is just a witness.
My theory is made. I have my files. I think I'm ready for the meeting with Peters.
A new task has been added. Meet with Mr. Peters. I wonder why she called it court board if it's a project. Mr. Peters. It's here.
Honorable Miss Cutts, would you be ready then?
I think so. How are we going to do that?
I will act as defense and court, and you will do your part.
What do you mean exactly?
You are Esther Cutts, the famous prosecutor. No case too hard, no challenge too high. Remember?
Haha.
You present your prosecution, support your conclusions with evidence, and win the case. And I'm trying to stop you from doing just that. Should be a piece of cake. For one of us, at least.
New tutorial available. Press play. Start presenting your theory to the court by pressing play. At court, you have to present your theory you recreated on the board. To start, simply press play. These are the questions, and these are the answers.
Execution was ordered by Herbert Schwartz, the district leader for the city of Munich. As the highest-ranking person involved, he bears the main responsibility for Mr. Neumann's death. Mr. Schwartz is unfortunately deceased, and as such cannot be tried. This does not, however, absolve his subordinates of their culpability.
Objection. According to the witness statement, it was Mr. Schickert who who gave the order. Can you support your claims with meaningful evidence?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. If you would take a look at this.
Prove that Mr. Schwartz gave the execution order. Well, we have a witness. Transcript. Interrogation. Mr. Here. The district leader gave the order for execution. Does it prove your claims submitted as evidence?
This document clearly states that it was Mr. Schwartz who gave the order.
Not bad cuts, but not great either. If that's all the prosecution can come up with, the case is as good as lost. Knowing the right answers is often not enough to win your case. You also need to form the right conclusions. Conclusions the court is willing to follow, because they are plausible, and because you can back them up with evidence. A valid conclusion is always based on several clues. The one clue we are very certain is true is that Schwartz gave the command. So your conclusion should be based on that. Open your case file and give it a go.
Connect your clues. You can now connect clues to form conclusions. They are not necessarily mandatory in court, but can prove to be very useful. Conclusions. Conclusions slot. For each question, you have a single crafting slot. Who ordered the execution? A conclusion is a combination of 3 clues that support each other. To add a clue, open a document slot. Find the first clue. Who ordered the execution? The former prosecutor mentioned it in his discontinuation report. Add it as your first clue. Old case, and then in this document, now select the corresponding paragraph, in this case one where it clearly states who ordered the execution. The execution ordered by the district leader was carried out according to the law in force at the time of the crime. As you prove your claim, submit as evidence. Find 2 more clues proving that the district leader gave the execution order. Well, we have our suspect saying it. The district leader gave the order for execution. This is the second one. And the third one, I'm not sure. Find 2 more clues proving that the district leader gave the... One more. I went together with Mr. Fatman out into the hallway. With crimes of this severity, I always give the same order. The order to execute. I believe.
Now I can see it.
Conclusion successful combined. Job done. Great. A successful combination adds a conclusion to your case file. There are no discrepancies on who ordered the execution. District leader Herbert Schwartz gave the command to shoot Mr. Norman.
I think I got it.
Shoot.
We have several consistent statements that Schwartz gave the order to shoot. There are no discrepancies in the testimonies. It says so in the files, and Mr. Schwartz stated it himself in 1947. Therefore, I conclude the order to shoot Hans Naumann came from District Leader Herbert Schwartz.
Congratulations. Well done, Cuts. If you argued just as coherently in court, this might go better than I expected. However, it was not particularly difficult, and it will probably not be that easy again. Still, well done.
Thank you, Peters.
Enough practice. Your case is waiting. Keep up the good work.
What now?
You should ask Paula to invite the next witness. There is still a lot we don't know.
Next stop, Paula. Peters?
Cuts?
New task. Invite a new witness.
Miss Katz, how can I help you?
I need you to invite a potential witness.
Of course. Who should I reach out to?
Schickert or Fatman?
Please invite Mr. Schickert next.
We'll reach out immediately. Oh, and there was a letter for you. I left it on your desk.
A lot is going on this morning. Read the letter Paula mentioned. I wonder how long the demo is. This is the letter. Show transcript. Jewish pig, we know where you live. We know what you do. We are watching. Day and night, we see you. The German people have been through enough because of vermin like you. You should have burned with the rest of your kind, and instead of disappearing, hiding in the gutters where you belong, you once again attacked us. So hear us. You will burn. We will finish what we started, beginning with traitor trash like you.
This is Esther Katz. Hello?
Whatever Kiebitz told you, don't believe it. It's all a lie.
Back then, everyone was an ardent Nazi. Now they all claim to have resisted, doubted, hesitated, to have said no. Trouble is, somebody must have said yes. But who tells the truth?
Thank you for playing. It's good, it's nice. Interesting. Reminds me of Ace Attorney, but different at the same time. And I like the art style, how's everything presented. German names are confusing, and unless you give me a picture with the name, I don't know what you're talking about. I liked it. Good. I liked it. We'll keep a close eye to this one. I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting to be so nice and fun and engaging. I think it's the most important thing. It's engaging. A little bit heavy, having to understand and comprehend all this information about the case, but once you are inside, you can't get out. This is how engaging this game is. Looking forward to the final release whenever that happens. I like the graphic style, I like the music, sets the mood perfectly, and we'll watch it. Probably, if the end of the world hasn't happened before, we'll play when it releases. And this is everything for today. So thank you for sharing your time with me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.